The top 5 greatest plane emergency landings ever. 5. Piggyback Ansons. The Avro Anson was a ubiquitous British Commonwealth twin-engine trainer during World War II, but it was hardly so common that two identical Ansons might collide in the vast, cloudless sky over New South Wales, Australia, on September 29, 1940. Yet not only did they collide, they did so gently enough while flying in exactly the same direction at the same altitude that they created a large 4-engine biplane, forever to be known in Oz as the Piggyback Ansons. Its landing was much more difficult because of the whole situation, and the wings of the plane were also damaged. This landing was named as the biggest stunt by the pilot who controlled it, and saved the life of all the people in it and landed it on the runway safely. 4. On One Wing and a Prayer. On May 1, 1983, over the Negev Desert, Israeli Air Force pilot Zivi Nedivi was practicing air combat maneuvering with his big twin-engine F-15D Eagle, dogfighting a tricky A-4 Skyhawk that was playing the aggressor role. Unfortunately, the Skyhawk went inverted as Nedivi was descending through its altitude, and neither pilot could see the other. The ensuing collision tore off the F-15's entire right wing. Nedivi flew the F-15 for some 10 minutes back to the nearest IAF desert base, and there found that he needed to keep the approach speed at nearly 260 knots, fully twice the airplane's normal landing speed, to forestall an uncontrollable roll. Nedivi braked to a stop about 20 feet from the end of the 11,000-foot runway and turned in his seat to shake the instructor's hand. It was the first time he could see that the right wing was gone. 3. Wing Walkers. Canadian 2nd Lieutenant Alan McLeod was just 18 years old when he was awarded the Victoria Cross during World War I for a heroic crash landing that he performed while standing on the wing of his Armstrong Whitworth Fk-8 single-engine bomber. Licked by flames from its burning gas tank, wounded 5 times by attacking Fokker Dr. 1 triplanes, he maneuvered so the fire streamed clear of his also wounded rear gunner. He managed to crash land the airplane near enough to the British lines that he could crawl to safety, dragging his gunner along with him. He was still in the cockpit at the time of the fire and was then survived in this whole crash, which has amazed the world. 2. Aloha Airlines Flight 243. On April 28, 1988, the Boeing 737 bound for Honolulu suffered serious structural damage when the top portion of the passenger cabin literally ripped off. The door to the cockpit was gone, so the captain could look behind him and see blue sky. The pilots brought the heavily damaged craft down safely, despite not knowing whether the front landing gear had deployed correctly. 58-year-old flight attendant Clara Bell Lansing was the only fatality. She was swept overboard while standing near the 5th row seats. Her body was never found. She was a veteran flight attendant of 37 years at the time of the accident. The pilots brought the heavily damaged craft down safely, despite not knowing whether the front landing gear had deployed correctly. 1. US Airways Flight 1549. On January 15, 2009, an Airbus A320 collided with a flock of geese shortly after takeoff from LaGuardia Airport in New York City. Multiple bird strikes caused both engines to fail. With both engines out, Captain Chesley Sully Sullenberger searched for a safe landing spot, but was unable to return to LaGuardia or Richard Airfield in New Jersey. Instead, he went for the Hudson River. He landed the plane down successfully. Touching down with so much skill, the Airbus held together and no one was seriously injured. All 155 on board were pulled to safety as the plane slowly sank. The entire crew of Flight 1549 was awarded the Masters Medal of the Guild of Air Pilots, and Air Navigators National Transportation Safety Board member Kitty Higgins described as the most successful teaching in aviation history.
Thanks for watching and hope you enjoyed. Check out one of these videos and don't forget to subscribe to support more videos.